Okay, I think everything's ready to fit the cam belt now. I've hoovered out all the muck from here, and I've also put some ACF 50 in there, which is quite good on Ally to stop it going all crusty. It was really crusty in there. As I said, it doesn't get used so much, this bike, and it's also sometimes left in a damp place, which is not so good for it. So I've got the new belt that says you're not supposed to bend, but it has got a set on it, so it's sat in a plastic box for a while. I've taken the tensioner from the other head, greased it up, placed it all in, haven't tightened anything up yet. So this is on a tension spring. Water pump pretty new. There are timing marks for the cams, little mark on the pulley, little mark on the edge of the head, little mark on the pulley, little mark on the edge of the head, and the piston has to be at top dead center, which happens to coincide with the position of the key in the crankshaft, and there's a little tiny mark here. I did check that by rotating this and sticking a stick down the outside just to make sure that everything was okay. So I'm just going to roughly put the belt in position first. And so I think it is at top dead center now, but I'm going to check that in a second. Yeah, in fact, I'll leave it like that, and I'll loosely put the rotor in as well now. I put a thin layer of grease on the taper there, just so hopefully the next time it'll be slightly easier to get off. I do have a vague memory now, when I changed the water pump, I knew this was all crusty in here, and I didn't have the special tool to take that off, and it's pretty much impossible without that tool, I believe, to do. So there's a bunch of funny washers goes on here. That one, I guess, is the belt retainer, and then a bunch of bell washers, which are a bit weird, but I didn't disturb the order. And of course, you have to put these on before you put the key on. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the idea of those spring washers is for, but anyway. And now the rotor. And I won't talk this up now, but I'll just do that up lightly. I also learnt a trick about holding the rotor still, is you can put a screwdriver through this hole. There are two holes here, and it will catch against the webbing in the inside there. So I'll tighten that up later. But there is the tiniest scratch mark on the outside here of the rotor, and the tiniest scratch mark on the crankcase, and line those two up. Keep the belt tight. So I think it's that tooth there. And then that would be that tooth. What do we think? There. Yep. Lined up, lined up, lined up. So in theory, that's it. Now, which way do I rotate the crankshaft? It must be, so that direction was turning the sprag on the starter motor. It must be this direction. which is anti-clockwise, right? So it says under warning of death, don't crank the engine from these. So I've only got this one, which of course is undo. So I'm going to have to tighten it up a fair bit so that I can turn the engine over. And it's not very well supported. Can I support that any better under there? Let's try it. Wedge various tools. So I'm going to tighten this up some more so that I can use it to turn the engine anti-clockwise. Let's see. So that's one rotation of the crank. The valves didn't clonk, so that's good news. And try another 360. This should be compression stroke, is it now? 360. That one lines up. That one lines up. Calling it a result. I am going to also check for some compression, just because of the funny stuff that was going on yesterday, or well, funny stuff in my head anyway. What can I use to stick a screwdriver in the plug hole? So that's firing stroke, isn't it, I think? And then this should be compression now. Didn't do it up tight enough. So an engine stand is becoming higher on my list of things that I really ought to buy. That or another pair of hands. Don't think the Glamorous assistant would be too keen on. So this should be that sounds like compression. Okay, I'm going to believe that the compression works. Now the only thing is, where do I tighten the cam belt? Probably when the cams aren't doing anything, right? So I think what do we think? That's so there it goes very tight that side, loose there. I'm sure there's a right place to tighten this up. I might have to actually go and check in the manual or whatever next. But somewhere like that seems to be at its tightest point. It's like bar tight there. And then when it springs over, this springs round and loosens off. So I'm gonna go with that for now. tighten it up there, and I will also check the manual. Next thing I'm going to do is get my torque wrench, find the setting. I need to torque that, and the head bolts, and then I'll be happier. And I'll just check the procedure for tightening that. I also want to check this new camera arrangement, which yeah, don't know how that works out, but let's see. So in a minute. Right, I've written the torques down. The head starts off at 20 Newton meters, so I'll do that first. Newton meters. Just doing them in diagonal pattern, so that I reduce the chances of bending anything on the head. So next up is the head at 25 Newton meters. Engine stand. Then next is the tensioner at 28, but I just want to check that I did that. I'm going to loosen that off. I did read up on the procedure, and it's to make sure it's when it's on top dead center on the compression stroke. So let's just check that again. Where's my top dead center mark? So I think that's top dead center on compression. Let's do it again. That's valves opening and stuff. What is that? No, that's top dead center on compression, right? Yeah, that's top dead center on compression. Okay, so there, and it's 28 Newton meters. It's set to 25. I don't think this torque wrench is particularly accurate. It's had a bit of a beating, as you can see. $25. Just noticed it's falling apart. $25 and a few more, a couple of Yeah. And the head 35 next. There. Cool. It feels much tighter than I'd do it up by hand, but and last, the crank 39, which is about there. Something. Trying to do this without just smashing everything everywhere. Oh, that feels like it's never coming undone ever again. There, 39. That's with it lubricated, which it was. So I have got exhaust studs, the cam belt is on, stator is on. What bits am I missing? Inlet. Inlet, I can do that now. Let's do the inlet stub thing. Get some space. I need to turn the engine on its front. Yup. How does that look? Can you see? Something like that. I think I'm going to use this 3-bond stuff. 3-bond. And I'm basically just going to put a squidge around the periphery. This has got a marking that says top. Get one of the bolts in. Top. Hopefully the right Allen key is here. Probably should have cleaned these threads out because that one at the back there is a bit tight, but I think it'll be alright. Just clean out the excess. So what am I missing after I've tightened this up? There's the cover for the cam belt, but I'm not going to put that on until I've started it up, seen it running. Rotor stator goes on top of that, some wiring. I think it's ready to go in. I am going to, before I forget, another common problem with this bike apparently is this top engine mount getting corroded. And I might do this one as well while I'm at it. So I'm going to stack a load of copper slip in there now. I'll also cover the bolts when I put them in, but this won't do any harm. So I just need to check the availability and willingness of the Glamorous Assistant and get the bike out and have a go at putting it in the end, putting the engine back in the frame. So we're going to try and get the engine in, right? I'm going to balance it on the jack. I'm going to try and get one of the bolts at the back in whilst the hidden Glamorous Assistant hides. I'll show off my glamorous rear. I'm stuck already, right? stupid going on there, but we'll worry about that in a minute. Screwdriver's still in, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'll try and move the jack again, use the jack to do it. Oh, that's nearly there. I actually need a smaller screwdriver, but okay. Where's the bolt? What washers have we got? Washer and a nut on the other side, I think. So,
Okay.
yeah. Let's come down a bit.
That looks like it should be perfect. This side it's not though. This side.
Okay, so.
Okay.
Right. Will the bottom one go in? If we
no.
lower the jack, it will. Let's see why not.
Needs to move further back, which may be the jack, but yeah.
It just needs to go down. It's pivoting on this one now.
Okay.
Stick that on just finger tight. Yeah, that will do. Thank you. And then, right, fingers.
Yeah.
Shouldn't need the jack anymore.
Is it on the wooden board?
Yes, yeah, the bike's
resting
not going
properly.
anywhere. Yeah.
Okay, so the bike is it, and you need to move back
So what's holding it?
forward.
It can't be. Let me just slide this pipe on while I'm here. It can't be. A bit of wood. Yeah, a bit of wood. Here we are.
Exactly right.
How weird. Sorry.
Absolutely no wiggle whatsoever.
No. Why not? It's not touching anywhere at the front.
What's the chain? Is the chain touching it?
Ah, yeah, that's what it is. Haha. Alright, so I need to lift it up.
Okay.
Well spotted. I knew that was going to get in the way. Okay.
Further up. If you take it a little bit further up, you should
Yeah.
have wiggle room.
I think that's about it. There we go. And then I should be able to. In fact, let me just might as well get it on. Actually.
To be fair, you did say you needed to put it.
I needed to what?
You said before you needed to put it on.
Well, not about put it on, but I was worried it was going to get caught, and it did. Yeah. Okay, it's not on, but it's out of the way.
Okay.
For a minute. And now we should be able to. Anything else in the way? We think.
No, on my hand.
in yet?
No, not quite yet. Yep, very almost.
Very almost.
There you go. Now it can. And that should have just wiggled the other side.
Oh, it's got to go the other way now. It's gone a bit too far.
There you go.
I think these bolts went the other way round before, but I don't think that matters. Is it lined up that side?
Yeah. Can't quite put a bolt on it. It's not quite good enough. Okay, washer and
Okay, let's hope I can fit the carburetors. I'm sure I'll be able to do that, says he confidently. Brilliant. Well, I don't know how much of that you could see, but that's all you're getting for now. Yeah, engine is in, of sorts. That might be the end of this video because it's got quite long again, so thanks for watching and all that. Don't forget to subscribe and like and comment and like. And if you really want to get annoyed by YouTube, you can press that little bell button. Thank you very much. Bye bye.